What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about Fire Emblem Three Houses Cindered Shadows. It is the launch week for this game, and as you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm very excited to get into some of this new content that we're going to talk about, and the game itself. It's just the hype week, right? So we've got to talk about it. But probably one of the most exciting things about this new DLC is that there is a brand new class introduced with this DLC, Cindered Shadows. So let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. The official Fire Emblem Three Houses Twitter page showed off the new class, the Dark Pegasus. This actually looks super hype right here. So shout outs to Perfectly Nintendo for the translations and the article here. So the latest Twitter updates shared new details about another new class introduced in Cindered Shadows. It's the Dark Pegasus. Just like its light counterpart, it's a female only class. They have a really handy skill called Magic Conversion, which grants the unit +3 to all abilities during the next turn if they get hit by a magic attack during the enemy phase. This class really shines in areas with plenty of enemy magic users, but be careful. Dark Pegasus are still vulnerable to arrows, and that is the update. You guys are seeing this right here, and the Dark Pegasus class looks absolutely god tier. I love the ability that they have, +3 to all abilities during the next turn. If you do get hit with a magic attack, watch out, your abilities are going to be super strong for the next turn there. So I love that. The design is absolutely amazing. Obviously, when you have like the dark put into whatever class, it always makes it a little bit more edgy or more cool. I've always thought that, at least, like if you have like a black mage or something like that, right? It always puts a little bit more of an emphasis on the power with it, and that's pretty cool with this class right here. So Cindered Shadows, this game is dropping, or the DLC I should say, is dropping on the 12th this week. That is not too far from now, guys. That is this Wednesday. We should be out there downloading this DLC. So let's go ahead and go over a couple different bullet points here for those who just picked up Fire Emblem Three Houses, or for those who are considering getting the game. Now, from what I understand, this is not like a Torn of the Golden Country type of situation. You can't play this separately from the main game. So in order to have access to play the Cindered Shadows DLC, you have to have Fire Emblem Three Houses, and you have to buy the Season Pass DLC. Those are the two things that you have to do. It's $24.99, and you get all the DLC packs that have been released so far, in addition to this Cindered Shadows DLC as well. So it's actually a really good deal considering what Intelligent Systems used to do with their DLC, where they had season passes that were more than the actual game. This is a pretty good price for everything that they've given us post-launch so far. Now, the next thing that you need to know about this, guys, is that it's not something to where it intertwines with the main campaign. So like, let's say you're playing the DLC, then you can go kind of back and forth, or it kind of just integrates in it normally. What it does is that you go into that, right? And even if you're in the time skip, or if you're somewhere else in the main game, it is a separate save file. It's a separate save file, and you start from there. There is not the recruiting, there's not the calendar, all the stuff that you know with Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's not apparent here in the Cindered Shadows DLC. It is more of a guided experience. You have set characters that you use. You have the new Ashen Wolves house members that you use, in addition to, of course, the main character Violet. You have all of the lords from each of the houses, then one representative of the students from each of those houses as well. It's all set in stone, right? So you have Ash, you also have Linhardt, and you have Hilda, in addition to Edelgard, Claude, and then also Dimitri, plus the new members there, and your person right there. That is it. You don't have to do the recruiting. You don't have to do anything like that, right? All of that is gone. The calendar system also gone as well. So once again, more of a guided experience, but you will be able to explore around the new area underground of Garrick Mark called the Abyss. So it is a really cool setup. I think it can ease people in. Heck, if you want to start there, you can kind of start there, then maybe even get into Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, one of the really cool things about this DLC is that once you beat the DLC Cindered Shadows, you can actually take the Ashen Wolves team members and put them into your main save file on the regular Fire Emblem Three Houses. that is something that I did not expect them to do. I thought it would be separate because it's not like you can take certain blades from Torn of the Golden Country and put them into the Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So that is really awesome that they were able to integrate it as well as that, because when we first heard about this game, or the DLC I should say, they said, oh, well, it's a separate save file. So I was thinking everything is just separate. You can enjoy the story self-contained right there, and there's really nothing that's going to be transferring over. But that's not the case. You will be able to have characters that transfer back over to the main game. So why am I extremely hyped about this DLC? Why am I looking forward to it so much? Well, one, obviously, huge Fire Emblem fan, right? Huge Fire Emblem fan. I love the Pegasus class. I think it's a really great class, and the fact that they're introducing new characters, of course, but also new classes as well, or at least with this new class, that's dope. And it adds just another layer of depth onto the already pretty in-depth game. Now, the one thing that I want to know about this, obviously you're going to be able to transfer over the people, but will Dark Pegasus become a class that other people from the main game, can they use that? Hopefully that would be the case too, that they add in Dark Pegasus so you can take somebody else from, like, let's just say Petra, for example, and make her a Dark Pegasus, although Petra is not available in the Cindered Shadows DLC. She will not be in that, but that would be really cool if you can actually make other classes Dark Pegasus for the female characters that you decide to use in the main game, because there's so many more people that are getting into Fire Emblem Three Houses with Byleth and Smash. You have the Cindered Shadows DLC, the game selling over 2.58 million units, approaching pretty much the best-selling, or I would probably say already the best-selling Fire Emblem game of all time. Definitely the fastest-selling Fire Emblem game of all time. It just really makes me happy that all this content is coming, and we have this for Fire Emblem Three Houses. The DLC, in my opinion, has been a revolution to the franchise, considering where it was. I mean, we went from literally buying like map packs that gave you gold and stuff like that to actually getting full scenarios and auxiliary missions and everything kind of put into a base package of only $24.99 with it, plus this awesome DLC extension here. They really nailed the DLC. Finally, after all of these years, I mean, it's been a while, right? Fire Emblem Awakening, then Fire Emblem Fates, and kind of what they did with that game, which was kind of crazy with all the different versions and everything. I think they really nailed what they need to do going forward. And I think that this DLC, I mean, we've seen it before in the past. It could kind of foreshadow what they're going to do going forward in the future when it comes to the Fire Emblem franchise. Because I'm not sure if they're going to continue with this house gimmick and all of that. So I'm thinking they're going to kind of go back in the next Fire Emblem game to a set path or a set type of characters that you do have, and not have some of the restrictions with the calendar and things like that. I think that was kind of like a Three Houses thing, and we're going to see a big, huge, expansive adventure, of course, right, with the next Fire Emblem game, but it's going to be structured more like Fire Emblem Three Houses Cindered Shadows, where you have your set characters and kind of what you're doing there. And maybe they don't do as many characters as they've done in the past. Maybe they kind of stick with like an 11 to 15 man woman roster. So that's what I'm thinking that this kind of foreshadows a little bit, but that's just me speculating on the matter because I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan, and I just want to see the franchise continue to do really well. There's always options for them to do a Fire Emblem Echoes. I think they can look back in terms of all of the different games that they have that obviously need HD remakes, right? And they can take one of those and kind of did what they did with Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia, which was Fire Emblem Gaiden. They can kind of take that and really put it into something brand new. They have a nice engine, right? They can continue to enhance on that, make that better, and then they can put out, I would say, like Fire Emblem, like the Holy War, something like that, or Thracia. I mean, one of those games would be really cool. Or even the GBA one. There's also the GameCube one. I think a lot of people would really like Path of Radiance. I think that probably if you really want to make the fans happy, I think Path of Radiance with Ike from the GameCube would be a really good one to make in the next of the Echoes line. And it would just kind of also satisfy some of the old school fans too. I mean, I don't know how well that would do sales wise. Not sure if it would do as well as Three Houses did, but I think that it would really make fans happy. And of course you have that engine, you know, and it wouldn't be as much development as it would be for them building it from complete scratch, because they do have something put together with HD textures and visuals and things like that. So really excited to see what they have going forward for the Fire Emblem franchise. Really excited to play this Cindered Shadows DLC. Remember guys, this drops on February 12th. February 12th, I'll be picking it up, and yes, I will be streaming it, and yes, I have my YouTube streaming back. So make sure you subscribe if you're into the streaming. We have a lot of cool stuff and plans for you guys this week. This is going to be a big week. This is going to be a huge week. So what do you guys think about this new class, the Dark Pegasus? What do you guys think about the future of Fire Emblem? What do you guys think about Fire Emblem Three Houses? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps up for this video here. Check out the link in the description below. We have Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow on there to stay up to date on all the latest gaming news. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.